the heck you created that variable, which totally happens. Using comments in a do file will help you remember what it is you did and walk you back through the steps. So I use these a lot, and you absolutely should too. So that's why they're important. So, but right now, in using something very sort of easy and simple, we're just going to do exactly what we did before in just calculating a fraction, but we're going to do in this do file. Then we're going to see the magic when we double click on it, everything gets done all at once. So what we're going to do here is calculate the fraction of births to 35-year-old mothers.
What, does it have to be in all caps?
Nope, I'm just doing it so you can see, and because I'm yelling and I'm so excited about it.
Okay.
All caps. So you can type in whatever font you want. Remember that STATA will absolutely positively ignore whatever you put between the comment markers. So it could frustrate you if you put something in there you want STATA to run, but it's also great because you can put numbers, letters, @signs, tildes, whatever you want within those. So we're now going to integrate everything we learned in the last 2 sessions into this one data file. Hopefully it'll serve as a good review for you. And if you have any questions, absolutely ask as we go on from here. So the first thing you're always going to want to do when you're running something is clear, because you don't want anything else mucking up your data. Clear is the first command you write, and as you remember, it's 1 line per command. Let's make sure nothing's in memory. Clear. The second thing is pick the data set we're going to use.
You can also put comments right after the command, right?
Absolutely. You can put them wherever you want. So long as they're in these things, put them wherever you want. That's right. So in sheet using, 65 is not right, it's 68. I apologize. In sheet using NAT 1968, which you've downloaded already, .csv, to load it in. Now, we're going to save it. As you remember, this is everything we've been doing before. And if you already have a copy of it, let's just overwrite it, replace. So, recall that the first thing we do to calculate the fraction of mothers is to use the count command to get the denominator. So I'm just going to put this under the heading of get the denominator. And there are going to be multiple steps now without another comment. The first step, count. The second step, remember that Jamie correctly pointed out that you don't have to return list every time. The R class variable is there whether you see it or not. So local denominator is Rn, R of n. And now we're going to do the same thing to get the numerator. So remember, we're looking at mothers who are 35 years or older at time of birth. Same thing, count of age mother, and then calculate the numerator, R of n. So now we say the numerator and the denominator. So and recall that numerator over denominator using these funky little quotation marks. And at the end of the file, I just always like to say and. So I know that I haven't written anything there, and anything I have to remember I want to do over again, I'll write at the end of the data file. So I just put end. So save this data file, Control S, file save. And when you're back in STATA, the way to run a do file is to go do, we mean this example.do, do example. Hit enter, and it just ran all the commands you saw. As we scroll back up here, we saw that when I hit do example, it said the comments, which didn't do any calculations, and then it did everything we instructed it to do. So that was a very quick way of calculating the fraction we needed all at once. So we put it all together and we got our answer. The fraction of births to 35-year-old mothers in 1968 is 0.07849. I'm guessing Mac people didn't work for you because it's not a do file.
I can't save the file.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you input the file name of example, why don't you have to put in the example.do
That's
like you do with
yeah.
the other like .txt for the other files that you called out?
That's a great question. So just like a default rule, whenever Stata has preferred formats. The Stata preferred data format is .dta, which is why you don't have to put that in when you hit save. It automatically saves that way. The do file has only one extension it will accept, .do, a do file type, so you don't have to put that in. And as I said with the log file, had you not specified text, it would have put it out in some proprietary format. So this is exactly how we would use a do file to calculate a fraction. It's a very simple example, but recall that you can actually do this for many things in a row. And if you look at page 7, there's a step-by-step list of how to do this, calculating a fraction for many different things, and coming out with lots and lots of answers. And there's in an appendix C, you'll see an example of the do file, how to properly construct it. So try it yourself first after the session, and then look at appendix C if you still need help on how to do it. So what we're going to do now is to look at how to combine a do file and a log file to capture everything that's happening here. So the way to do that is very simple. To make sure it's just like clear. It's going to be starting logging. So I'm just going to add on to this do file to show you that it still works. So we're going to stop all logging for the data file by using the command capture log close. Yes, Katie?
Sorry, what did you say the other option was? You said there was text edit and another Mac option for what's the equivalent of the notepad?
The other option is simple text.
Simple text? So
Simple
what
text, which should come with OS 10, I think. I don't know. Yeah. Do you have that?
I have something called script editor, but I don't know.
Oh, that could work. That sounds good. Scripts. This is kind of what we're running.
We'll see.
Okay, try that out. So
Why do you say capture log close rather than log close?
that's just the command to stop all the log capturing sort of clear. It's the equivalent of a clear function for logs.
Didn't you earlier just say log close?
I did, but that assumed that a log was running.
Oh, I see.
So it's like the clear command in that it doesn't matter what came before it, it just stops all logs from running at all. So stop all logging with capture log close. Basically clear and capture log close are two things you're going to want to do at the beginning of every file, because you're not, unless you want to append a log, so you don't want to have things overwriting other things or just having programs stop in the middle. So stop all logging and make a new log. Yes, yeah.
I just close my notepad and I can find it because it can this do file.
Well, that's a great point. So I'm glad you brought that up. So let me save this. So as you see here on a PC, it looks to Microsoft Windows as if it's not a text file, so it'll open in Stata automatically. So what you do is right-click on the example file, go to Open With, pick the program, Notepad. Then it works. So that's a great question. Thank you. So capture log close, and let's just make a new log using what we used before. Log using example.txt text, and in case we have something else by that name, replace. So let's try this and see if it works and see if it gives us what we expect it to give us. So I'm going to close out of this file. And then here's the example. And then we're going to go back to the Stata. We're just going to run the file the same way we did before. Do example. Let's check to see if the log is properly generated. We expect it to be so because we see at the top it said it's opening the file and it's moving forward. So there is an example. It's a text file. It's at the bottom. And lo and behold, it has everything we did, including